Okay, let's turn our attention to the latest in the world of social media. Today's focus is on a huge jump of viewers on YouTube and how Facebook is developing a space for mental health awareness. I'm joined by the one and only Dr. Karen Sutherland from the University of Sunshine Coast. Hello to you. Good morning. How are we?
Very well. How are you?
Going well. So let's talk about YouTube. I mean, it does seem like it's growing in popularity. I believe there's been a jump, particularly in ad revenue, more people getting involved. What can you tell us? How is YouTube looking these days?
Well, look, I think people really underestimate YouTube and its popularity. So there was a report that came out earlier this week just saying that ad revenue on YouTube has jumped nearly 50%. It's no wonder really, because if you think about it, people generally use YouTube almost like a search engine, and it's been sort of named as the second most popular search engine after Google. So it's no wonder that businesses are turning to that to actually advertise in a much more targeted way than say on something like Facebook.
Yeah, and you know how we're watching similar videos on YouTube, then the algorithm builds, and so it's like we always return to that sort of content. I know I go on my YouTube page, you subscribe to certain pages, and yeah, you almost check it every day in some ways. So do you think because of the algorithm, it's building, it's what we want to view in many ways, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you think about it, like say on Facebook, people are sort of there to do other things, like to connect, to sort of zone out. But on YouTube, you sort of go to look for things. So how-to videos are hugely popular. And if you're a business, advertising around or creating that content and then advertising using particular keywords is just a really great way to go. And the costs aren't that expensive and maybe even more effective than Facebook advertising at this point in time. And of course, YouTube is owned by Google. So, I mean, the targeting is great.
Yeah, so does that just overlap? I mean, we know how Google ads work, but it's very similar on YouTube in the way that it's being targeted?
Yeah, and you can place YouTube ads through that same interface. So so it's no wonder that it's actually that popular because in some studies, particularly in Australia, sometimes YouTube is named as popular or even more popular than Facebook as the most popular platform.
Yeah, and you can get a lot of your news from YouTube as well. I mean, obviously all of the major networks are huge, all the US like CNN, NBC, all these types are on YouTube. So people just go there, they watch their clips and they move on. I think it is the younger generation certainly getting involved. That's how they're watching their television. We don't turn the TV on anymore. I don't know about you, I don't watch free-to-air TV much these days.
Yeah, I'm the same. And then you get trapped in that YouTube hole, where they recommend other things and you're like, oh yeah, then like 6 hours has gone by and you're like, what have I done? But,
there should really be a block, shouldn't there? Like it should be, you can only watch a certain amount of time, maybe one day they'll do that. They probably won't, but it's pretty bad how much time you can spend on it, isn't it? You can spend hours.
Yeah, oh, totally. Yeah, you could lose a day easily.
Let's talk about what Facebook is doing. This is really interesting regarding Mental Health Awareness Month. What are they up to?
Yeah, well, they've actually partnered with other sort of organisations such as the World Health Organization to come up with what they're calling an emotional wellbeing centre. So it's a place on Facebook that has content and videos and helpful content around that about how to sort of manage your emotional health. But it also has links through to resources and services as well. So I think they're trying to, be a good citizen and actually put out some, really positive things to help their users, particularly when they're there anyway. So they're trying to stop people having to go search for things. They're actually having it where they already are.
Yeah, I wonder if that's going to be a big push from Facebook over the coming years. We've spoken so many times about, the trouble they've been in, the PR, pushback in many ways that people have viewed Facebook in a bit of a darker light. Do you expect that they'll really start to build, more positive content, if you like, or avenues?
I think they're trying to. I really do. I mean, they've been around for a while, but still, I think we just didn't understand the impact of negative and positive of social media. And now that we're starting to see with the negative impact it can have, I think they actually are starting to respond to that in some way. How effective that is, who's to say? But at least they're giving it a go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, watch closely. I know you will, and keep us up to date because, they're a machine. We know that. I just wonder if they're going to try and be a bit more positive so people look at them in a different light. But it will take a bit of time. I think they've done some damage to their reputation over the years, haven't they, really?
Absolutely.
Great to chat with you. Enjoy your day. We'll talk again really soon, okay?
Thanks so much. See you.
Awesome.